KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. The most important ingredients to sustaining health and wellness are the resources and tools that help you live a vibrant and healthy life. At San Juan Regional Medical Center, the goal is to promote health by making sure those resources are available. Find the path to the best life at lifebetterhere.com. San Juan Regional Medical Center. Better is our mission, improving lives through personalized health and care.
Ten minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Wednesday morning, the 25th day of January, 2023. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM right here, of course, in San Juan County, New Mexico. 103.3 FM when you're listening to us in Durango, Colorado. And everywhere else on the planet, just go to our website to listen, ksje.com. We also want to welcome our viewers who are joining us this morning. This program is streaming out live, of course, to the KSJE Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our Twitter account. So we're glad that you are with us this morning, everybody. Coming up in the next few moments, my regular conversation with folks from Farmington Schools. We will get an update from Farmington School District about some of the things going on in the district these days. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that really important conversation coming up here in the next few moments on KSJE. Then, of course, later on this hour, we'll be checking in with Ron Price. He's stopping by with some more advice about life in the sandbox. He, of course, is the noted author of the Play Nice in Your Sandbox series of books. So stay tuned for that coming up later on this hour here on KSJE at 8:50 a.m. Next hour, Mick Hess is going to take us roving with the arts. It is our daily classical music program, of course, and this morning, Mick is featuring music from Aaron Copland and also the great Mozart. That's coming up today, a special 90-minute version of Roving with the Arts today until 10:30, because then at 10:30 is our weekly local and regional author program, Right on Four Corners, and that is hosted by Delcherie Gladden. This week, Delcherie is speaking with a illustrator, Summer Macon, and she is talking a little bit about some of her work in her children's books. Coming up today, right on Four Corners at 10:30 on KSJE. Don't forget, of course, we invite you to connect with us on our Instagram page as well as our other social media pages. And outside our studios, it is currently a partly sunny morning this morning, 19 degrees in Farmington at the moment. We're expecting an increasing chance of sunshine today in the forecast with a high of 34 today, 11 overnight. Sunshine, 30 degrees tomorrow, sunny and 33 on Friday, upper 30s on Saturday, mid-40s with partly sunny skies on Sunday, with overnight lows, as you can see, in the teens to just about 30 degrees. Next chance of precipitation may be coming our way Monday night on into Tuesday, so we'll see how that goes as we get a little bit closer. Well, let me introduce my guests who are here with me in the studio this morning, again, representing Farmington Schools. Superintendent Cody Deal is back with us this morning. Superintendent Deal, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Also joining us this morning is Hope Trujillo. She is the Farmington Schools Mental Health Coordinator, and good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. And Nate Pierantoni is here. He is, of course, the Executive Director of Support Services with Farmington Schools. And Mr. Pierantoni, good to have you back.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you for being here as well. Mr. Deal, let's start with you a little bit about some things that have been going on with Farmington Schools, some recognition, I think, to give out to some of your students this morning.
Yeah, the good stuff, right? So we've had a few regional competitions, Science Olympiad. So we had all of our high schools compete along with our middle schools as well, and they'll qualify for a regional competition, our state competition at New Mexico Tech. So as you see on the screen, first place Farmington High School, second place Piedra Vista, and third place San Juan College High School. So congratulations to all those students, and special thanks to the people who put those competitions on and dedicate the time and the energy outside of school to do that.
Right.
Good stuff.
And I would give a shout out to the parents too, who have to deal with all these projects
yeah,
and things
right?
too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever it is, I remember when my boys were in school dropping eggs off wherever we were dropping them and having to clean them up.
Well, they're too expensive now to do that. You can't do that
we can't find
anymore.
them,
Good
right?
grief. Yeah.
So, yeah, good stuff. Thanks to the parents as well.
You bet. Also, we want to talk a little bit about the spelling bee that was recently took place, right? And let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we had our district spelling bee, and so good stuff as well. It's neat to see these students spelling, and congratulations to our winners. So we have Shawar Imam at first place at Country Club, Zoe Cummins, and Calvin Lamb. So good stuff there as well.
Very true. Very good.
And we have our gifted program, who gifted enrichment program, who puts on these events. So thanks to them as well.
Right, indeed. And from someone who looks a lot at social media, we need better spellers in our world these days. So thank you for the work that you all do to get people to learn how to spell in school. So appreciate that very, very much. The music education program.
Well, you see this all the time in Farmington Municipal Schools, don't you? And it seems like almost at every board meeting we're recognizing our music programs in our district. So congratulations, one of our programs that just keeps growing, and it's good stuff.
Right, very good. Congratulations to everyone involved in the music program at Farmington Schools. And another issue we want to talk a little bit about, it's been kind of in on social media and in the news a little bit too, are some of these threats that I know schools everywhere, not just here, have to deal with, but I know you folks take it very, very seriously.
Yeah, to the not so fun stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Well, but it's important stuff.
It is very important, and I want to thank our community for always looking out for our schools and our students. And even though we do get a lot of reports on social, media, and sometimes, and Chief Hebby and I did a video last week, and I want to encourage people to report threats to the police directly, report the threats to us directly versus social media platforms. We have our Say Something anonymous reporting system that you can find on our website. And obviously non-emergency dispatch or emergency dispatch through the police department. I can't thank the Farmington Police Department enough for their commitment to our schools and our students. They spend countless of hours investigating these threats, and they're a great partner. Continually on speed dial. We have Sergeant Stearman and our school resource officers who work tirelessly to keep our students safe, along with all of our staff involved as well. So the partnership's a good one. I know they are concerning, but yes, do know that we take them seriously, and our school safety is one of our highest priorities. So.
Right. And I think parents and guardians need to know, too, how seriously you take these, and that these kids, if they are kids, are punished.
Yeah, so there's two sides, right? So there's the legal aspect of it, and then there's also the school side of consequence. And you will hear from Mr. Parentoni and his team in Orlando, Montoya about some of that. But, they need to be held accountable. It's a significant disruption to the educational process. You probably saw on social media last night we had a threat that was unfounded on one of our school buses, but we turn a school bus around and it creates angst and worry.
Sure.
And so it's a serious deal, and it's a significant disruption, and we want to make sure that we hold those people accountable.
Right. And that's apparently what has happened in this most latest case, from what I can understand.
Yeah. Yep. When we find the individual, the police do their part, and of course we do ours. On one of the instances, it wasn't a student of ours, so we will notify the appropriate people where that student is. But it's troubling, and like I said in the video, it takes a lot of time and energy and resources, but it's a commitment to safety, so we take it very seriously.
Sure. Well, of course. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, and I think it's really important, again, with the transparency to let the public and the community know, even when something's unfounded, what you found.
We want to communicate regularly and be as transparent as possible, but do know that in real time, we're doing the best we can, but as you know, social media sometimes travels faster than we do.
Right.
And instantaneously. And a lot of those posts that go around are not accurate, but you know how it travels.
True. Very true. And I know for parents, any time delay is just very frustrating for them, and they do their best to try to be as patient as possible.
Yes.
And that's difficult.
For sure. And when it's your student, when it's your child, it becomes heightened, and we respect that, and we want to partner with parents as well.
Right. Very true. Upcoming legislative session, of course, the state legislature's meeting in Santa Fe. It's a 60-day session this year, and so what are you expecting? What are you watching for? What are you crossing your fingers for? What do you think is going to happen?
So a couple of the big ones that we're looking for, and you see it on the screen, is and one of the bills has been introduced and one has not yet, but we anticipate it. Graduation requirements. So I think the key with this bill is the not the reduction in the requirements, but the flexibility in requirements. So currently a student has to have Algebra 2 to graduate from high school. This does not reduce the number of math credits. I'll just use that math as an example. But it gives us some flexibility to gear some of that learning towards a pathway. So if a student is working their way to be a nurse, for example, then maybe some of the mathematics application can be applied to what that degree is or what that pathway is. So it gives us a little bit of flexibility. So we're excited about that, and the pathways and career opportunities that it might give us, and it will give some students some flexibility by reducing the number of hours or requirements, credit hours, to 22. So Mr. Parentoni was talking a little bit this morning about his daughter and taking college classes. It'll give them the more flexibility to get on that path sooner. So we're excited about that. There's the other there that you see on the screen is increasing the amount of instructional time. So currently secondary schools are required to be in school a minimum of 1,080 hours. Elementary schools 990 hours, and this increases that time to 1,140. So we'll be interested in what that looks like and how we navigate that. And then, of course, you have some of the money bills, right?
Right,
Talking about
sure.
increasing EA salaries, which would be great.
These are educational assistants salaries,
Educational
right?
assistants, yes. They do amazing work with students and deserve that. And then it talks a little bit, there's some bills that'll help employers or school employees with health insurance. So
Okay.
we're looking at some of those as well. But yeah, it's just started, and I was able to spend last Thursday and Friday there in Santa Fe getting introduced to the process, and then the school board and I will be going back next week to the New Mexico School Boards Association legislative conference. So be interesting.
Gotcha. Very, very good. Well, of course, as you said, there's a lot of bills being introduced and a lot of conversations, and of course the committee work that goes on at the Roundhouse before things get to the floor, maybe for a vote. And so I'm sure you're watching everything very carefully.
We are, and I'm looking forward to it as it's really my first taste of the legislative session as the superintendent. Obviously, I've been involved in it before, but not to this level. So
Sure.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, as folks have maybe said in the past, you get to see how the sausage is made. And sometimes
right.
that's interesting, sometimes it's not so much. But good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Deal, we appreciate you being here. I know you brought some other guests with you, so we're going to move on to
Yes.
them as we continue our conversation. Nate Pirantoni, of course, is here. He is, of course, the Executive Director of Support Services. And Mr. Pirantoni, let me bring you back into the conversation.
Good morning.
This morning. Thank you for coming in. Good morning to you. And so talk a little bit about some of the things that you are working on these days.
Thanks. I will. I'm really excited, actually. The position that Mr. Deal has put me in allows us to really focus and shine a light on our foundational commitment as a district to safety and to a supportive and collaborative environment across all schools. And so with that, this position allows me to really work closely with our nursing and mental health providers, with our exceptional programs office, which includes our students with disabilities, also our students with exceptionalities. And then we also have work that we're doing across all the different tribes, nations, and pueblos through Indian education, as well as the different nationalities, backgrounds, and languages through our multicultural office. So I'm excited because we've had these programs before, but by kind of having a position where we elevate it and collaborate really closely through our Office of Curriculum and Instruction, our hope is that we're going to be able to see better success for those students we serve.
Very good. And for these students, I mean, having these programs available to them, this assistance to maybe help them through their school careers can really make a big difference, can it, with outcomes?
Absolutely. I mean, our responsibility and our obligation as a community is to ensure access to all these fine programs, is to really address some of the critical needs in the community. So on top of those programs for our special student populations, we're also really looking closely at things like attendance. We're looking closely at things like substance abuse. We have programs that serve our unsheltered families. So a lot of this work is really about finding those gaps, connecting them with the community, and ensuring that every kid has a real shot at not only high achievement, but enjoying school, getting the most out of everything, and walking away with a diploma.
Right. And these programs are available to students at all grade levels or most grade levels?
Absolutely. From kindergarten all the way up through some of the students we serve into their 20s through different programs through our exceptional programs office.
I see. And when a student is having difficulties, is it sometimes maybe multifaceted? I mean, it's not just maybe one issue, doesn't like math or whatever, but it's some other stuff or maybe stuff going on at home or what have you. Do you find that it's multiple things that maybe they need some assistance with?
It's typically combinations of factors, right? And that's one of the things that we're most excited about. I think as a district this year, we've been putting a lot of energy towards our professional learning communities, collaborative teams. We have this belief that teachers, as our frontline sort of responders, are able to put their heads together, understand what the needs are of the kids, and then collaboratively working together, they can access, some of these experts like Hope and Orlando that we're going to talk to, and be able to connect them with the resources that they need to be successful. So it spans from academics to things happening on the home front. Absolutely.
Right. Very good. Well, I think that's a great transition to our other two guests who are sitting here this morning to bring them into the conversation. And the one guest who we haven't quite introduced yet is Orlando Montoya, who is here. He is the behavioral coordinator with Farmington Schools. And I want to just give you a mention to welcome you to the program. And thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for having us.
You bet. Great to have you here as well. And so let's talk a little bit about some of the work that maybe you do with the district. And so talk a little bit about some of the work that you're doing.
Okay, as a behavior coordinator, I have the opportunity, which I think I'm blessed to do it because we have a great school. I get to visit all 18 schools, and I do that every single week. I work with my teams, which consist of principals, assistant principals, counselors, and social workers. Our goal together is to keep our kids in school, whether that be behavioral referrals, if they're being visited often to the office, I'll visit with those kids and visit with the principal. We come up with ideas of how to stop those.
Right.
Or attendance, we look at that as well. I participate in the BIT teams, which are the behavioral intervention teams at each school, and we have meetings weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, depending on the school. So we sit and we talk about what interventions can we put out there, how can we better support these individuals that are struggling. Oftentimes I'll walk into a school and the principal or whoever I hit first, they'll say, things are good here. And when I get that, I move on to the next schools. Sometimes I spend a little more time at different schools because they have more issues that we need to work on. But we work together to figure out how to best serve these kids and help them out. A lot of times they just need to talk to somebody. And me being outside of the schools, not directly working with them every single day, sometimes I'm that person that they'll open up to, and then I find the right persons that I got to direct them to. And I think it's a great deal that we're doing right now. Something that's been needed for a while. I got great relationships with all the people that I work with, and I'm excited about that. And we're able to work together and find good things.
Right. Very, very good. Thank you for coming in and talking about that this morning, Mr. Pirantoni. Let me bring you in a little bit to talk about what Mr. Montoya is doing in the schools. And this one-to-one type of work is really important, I suppose, to identify students who are having difficulties and referring them to maybe other resources that are available.
Totally. And Orlando's a really skilled connector. So not only can he work with kids, but then he helps us at the district level really understand where the needs are. And one of them, as an example, is a need. It's on the slide I think we were showing, but talking about kind of handbook alignment. So recognizing that in 19 schools, we have 19 principals who may look at discipline from different angles. Well, we take that as an opportunity. How do we ensure consistency across our buildings? How do we recognize that, we have an obligation to discipline sometimes, but we also need to keep student dignity intact? And so Orlando's one of the leaders of this conversation, really trying to understand from the school's perspective, from the family perspective, how do we kind of find that middle ground so that we can run a orderly environment, but also ensure that kids learn behaviors that we want them to show throughout their school experience.
Right, right. And Mr. Montoya, go ahead. You had something to add?
Well, I was just going to say, looking at the PowerPoint there, the
Sure.
crisis prevention, that's another thing. I'm one of the instructors for the district to train all of our people. We have teams at every school that provide support to individuals who are in crisis. This is an accredited program that was adopted by the district several years ago, and it's a great program because it shows or teaches techniques for de-escalation. And I feel like if everybody knew how to better de-escalate a situation, we'd have better support, not having to put hands on a kid in that sense. But part of this training also, we do have specific holds, again, that have been approved by the district. These holds are specific to protect the individual, not to harm the individual. So we do that, a lot of training. To date, we've trained, Hope is actually one of our instructors as well. We have 2 other instructors within the district. To date, we've trained 298 people. We are currently training all of our bus drivers, which is also important because our bus drivers, they're important to us too. And those kids, those are the first people they see and the last people they see. So I'm sure they encounter things on their bus. So together, all of us, there's so many entities within the district, people that work together, that we build this school and make it a stronger school. We got
Right.
great people here. Yeah.
But and really important, I guess, that you're sharing, I guess, this information, because behaviors on a school bus may be different than a behavior in class.
Exactly, and that's one of the things I'm hearing. Really, like I tell them, this is good information to the bus drivers. This is good information that I'm getting because I get to bring that back to the district, and then we could spread that out and talk to our administrators about how we could better support those bus drivers as well.
Right. Very, very true. Well, thank you for being here this morning. You mentioned Hope Trujillo, so let's bring you into the conversation too. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
And Hope Trujillo, you are the mental health coordinator for the district, so talk to us a little bit about the job that you do.
Yeah, so one of my roles as mental health coordinator is to support our social workers and counselors throughout the district. Currently, we have 18 social workers and 26 counselors that support our students from preschool all the way to high school. And I have to give a shout out to our team. We have a dynamic group. They are passionate about working with our students. They're innovative. They try to find ways to not only support mental health, but also that social emotional learning piece as well. So I just need to give a shout out to them. They're fantastic. Another way that the district supports our providers, our mental health providers, is also trying to get them the supports that they need to be able to provide, right, the resources and tools. So one of the programs our district has invested in is the SOS Signs of Suicide program, and that is an evidence-based program that we roll out for our students 6th through 12th grade, and it's a program to help give them the information on what to do if they notice perhaps signs of depression or suicide risk, not only in themselves but in their friends, and just really giving them that hope that depression is treatable and that there are trusting adults, whether it's at school or at home, that they can go to get the help that they need. So that's one of the programs that we support. What I love about our district is we understand we don't work in silos, and we need to come together as a team. So I also participate in a county mental health leaders collaboration, and that's working with the other mental health coordinators at our neighboring schools. And again, that's a time for us to get together, to share ideas, to share our concerns, and again, how do we best support our whole community? One of those collaborations, what we're excited about, is I'll be working with Aztec, and we are going to be providing another training for our school district. So not only Farmington and Aztec, but opening this up to Bloomfield and Central Consolidated, again, to provide all of us with the same, the resources and tools to better work with our students. So we will that's the Prepare program. It's through the National Association of School Psychologists. And what it is helping our mental health providers have the skill and the knowledge to provide psychological interventions to our students and staff should a crisis event occur that simultaneously affects everybody. So that's something we're looking forward to bringing in the spring.
Right. And And these things, are they, you're working with the other schools you mentioned, and so do all the other districts have resources like Farmington Schools? Or I know that Farmington Schools is the biggest district in the county, and so you may have more resources than your neighboring districts to maybe be able to offer some of these things.
Regarding so I know that in our neighboring districts, they do have their mental health leads that continue to work to have
Great.
maybe not at the same level of resources that
Sure.
we have, but they definitely have social workers and counselors, and that's why we need to collaborate together to say, hey, how do we strengthen numbers, right?
Right, very true. And I wanted to ask both of you, Orlando and Hope, a little bit about the involvement of parents or adults in these students' lives. How important is their kind of buy-in or just help from the home standpoint, I guess, helpful to the work that you both are doing? Hope, how important is it for you?
Oh my goodness, we are talking about a team, right? We need parent involvement. I mean, parents are the students' first and most important teacher, and we honor parents coming in and working with us and sharing what their ideas. And I know a lot of our schools have parent engagement nights and meetings where they invite parents in and want to share, hey, this is what we're providing. This is the social emotional learning piece that we are sharing with your student. When we provided the signs of suicide, we provided a parent night so that they could come, see the video, ask questions. Again, we want to work collaboratively because it takes a village.
Right, very true. Mr. Montoya, same question for you with parents.
Extremely important. I support what Hope says. I back that up 100%. Oftentimes when we're dealing with kids that are struggling in school and getting suspended and like that, we call the parents in and we get them involved. And together, when I say our team, they become part of that team. How can we better support your child? How can we support you guys to get that support to the child? So extremely important. Yeah.
And you get that, so I mean, I'm sure most parents you would get that support. My fear is that maybe some parents aren't as engaged maybe as you would like them to be.
And you have that from time to time, but I'm happy to say that most parents that I've met with, and there's been several throughout the year already, have been very supportive of what we're doing. Oftentimes they themselves will say, well, I'm going to get them a tutor, or I'm going to get them counseling, or outside services. And we have so many people that within the district that know outside agencies that help support them in that way too. But yeah, extremely important. Parents are number one, like she says, they're their very first teachers, and we learn from there and we take it from there. So very important, yeah.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you both for being here this morning. Really appreciate it. That's really important information. Mr. Pirantoni, final thoughts from you with these two folks you brought with you?
I just want to thank them both. I think another function that's important to mention is their work. Regularly we sit and we organize based on what they're seeing. That helps us direct what we're going to teach directly to our principals and our teachers. And so it really comes back to this idea of a strong system of reliability where we put a lot of experts together and we organize our priorities. And so I thank them both. They're both in new positions this year, and I really believe that we're starting to see those shifts happen, not only in our students but in our teachers and school leaders as well.
Very good. Well, and the winners are the students, it sounds like to me, by having some of these resources available and be able to identify these problems, issues, challenges early on. Mm-hmm. So very good. Thank you for being here as well. Appreciate you being here. Mr. Deal, we put you back in the hot seat to kind of wrap up our conversation this morning. But San Juan College High School is something I know the district's very proud. San Juan College is very proud to have it here on our campus, of course. The students excel almost in every area. They've been recognized, I think, from the state. And so it's time to, I guess, talk about enrollment, I guess, for the next year, right?
So they are getting ready to kick off their application process for the class of 2027.
Doesn't make me feel old at all.
Right?
Doesn't make me feel old at all. Oh my goodness.
So the application opens February 1st and closes on February 28th. So you could visit their school website for that application. We're excited. I can't believe how fast the year goes. I can't believe we're already in semester 2. And we're already gearing up for the next school year. Very good. In a lot of places.
And of course, I know you're talking for folks in the Farmington School District, but of course there are openings for students from other districts as well to San Juan College High School.
We do. So our surrounding school districts have 10 slots available as well.
Okay.
For each class.
Very good. And so it is certainly a great opportunity, I think, for parents and students to look into this if they feel it's right for their student. I know the academics are pretty stringent, but that's what it's designed to do.
That's right.
Get you in and out. And so it's great to have it here on the campus of San Juan College. And before we go, you still have the Help Wanted sign out in front of your office, I guess, at the school district.
We always do, and we welcome anybody to apply. So please visit our website. And I will just end with, you saw it today, you heard from these three, Mr. Parentoni, Mr. Hio, and Mr. Montoya. It is a collaborative effort at Farmington Schools, and I've said it before, Scott, that's us, that's what we do, and we want to work together for our community, and it takes, as Mr. Hio said, it takes a village, and it takes all of us, right? The community, thanks again to Farmington Police Department for their partnership, and all of our area partners. So come work for us. It's a great place to work, and it feels good. I've said that before here on the radio. I'm very optimistic about the direction that we're going and the changes that we've made and the focuses that we have. So, yeah.
Very good.
Give us a shout.
Okay. Lots of opportunities.
Lots of opportunities. Yep.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you all for coming in this morning. Again, I really appreciate the conversation. It's been a really important conversation to have this morning, so I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thanks.
You bet. Thanks very much. My guest this morning from Farmington Schools with me here on KSJE. KSJE is supported by the Farmington Civic Center, presenting Our Planet live in concert on Saturday, February 11th at 7:30 p.m., combining HD cinematography with all-new orchestrations by Oscar-winning composer Stephen Price, performed by a live onstage orchestra. A journey of discovery featuring narration by legendary broadcaster David Attenborough. Find out more at fmtn.org/shows. Our Planet live in concert, Saturday, February 11th at 7:30 p.m.
Sucking carbon dioxide out of the air is now possible, but to meet climate goals, we're gonna need a bigger vacuum.